Hey guys, welcome back to the Human Condition. This video is another video. Actually, this is a unique video. This video is, I think the title is going to be for this one, what Myers-Briggs 16 personality. What are the Myers-Briggs 16 personalities, and what personality are you? So in this video, if you don't know what the Myers-Briggs personality type is, it's basically a personality type that a psychology theory that suggests there's 16 personality types. And it judges it based off four characteristics, four letters essentially. And these letters are between introvert and extrovert, intuitive and observant, thinking and feeling, and judging and perceiving. It's intuitive and sensing of that. But basically, these are four types characteristics that you can have, and basically contrast with each other to basically have each person has and adds up to 16 different types of personalities. So in this video, I have a list of 8. This is gonna be part 1. I have this list of 8 personality types. Originally when I tried to do this video, I tried to do all 16, but I realized that is a 23-minute video, and I was like, I do not want to make you guys listen to 23 minutes of me just talking about this. So I was like, I don't want to torture you guys with that. So this one is part 1 of part 2. So yeah, I got a list of the first 8 that I'll talk about with you guys and try to do, in my opinion, the best description of what they are and how I feel like they interact with each other. So yeah, first off, we have INFP. INFP is known as the mediator. Also, if you're curious about what this is, you can, if you want to figure out what your type is, there's a quick online test that does it. Just look up Myers-Briggs 16 personalities if you would like. If not, that's cool too. But you can, they ask you like a ton of questions, and you can figure out what personality type you are. First up is INFP. INFP, it stands for introverted, intuitive, feeling, and perceiving. So these people, typically when they go into a room, like to keep to themselves, and they can be very friendly and nice people, but they often, when they go into the room, they rather keep to themselves as an introvert and get energy from, even though they might like to go out and socialize, it kind of drains their energy to an extent. They get energy from being by themselves and just kind of chilling, relaxing, you know? So that's the introvert, where the extrovert would be outgoing, gets energy from being outgoing. The second letter would be intuitive. Intuitive basically means they go off how they feel and what they're thinking and their plans. So basically, intuitive means an intuitive person will go into a situation with a plan already in their mind and act off it, versus sensing or like observant person would typically go into environment, in my opinion, and look around and then come up with their plans, not have a plan, come up with a plan kind of on the fly, spontaneous, maybe more spontaneous than intuitive. They'll come up with a plan on the fly and observe their surroundings and maybe not even have a plan, just observe, rather than intuitive goes into a social situation or just anywhere in general, always plans everything out before they go, typically. Then you got thinking and feeling. A positive for feeling. Thinking is that these people are very analytical and good at problem solving. However, sometimes they might still awesome people, but sometimes they might feel lonely because, or not even feel lonely, but not desire connection as much as a thinking, because they're too busy thinking about like analytical things and processes and plans and stuff like that. Whereas feeling would be wanting to connect and acting more on emotion rather than logic, typically. And then perceiving and judging. Judging just means that, at least in my opinion, that they take more action in a situation, whereas perceiving, it's more reactive. It's a reaction. So they see what's going on around them and then they react. Whereas judging is like the person that takes like action first, I guess. So perception, perceiving, reaction, judging action. So that's that. And INFP, so basically as an INFP, they go into a situation, they have a plan, they want to connect but keep to themselves, and they react to what's going on around them rather than action. So these people are known as mediators because they're very peaceful and want peace that due to their feeling nature. They also think a lot and plan things out, so they can handle situations a lot when things go wrong, because they just want to make peace, and that usually it works for the most part as an INFP for INFP. So they keep themselves, but there's a connection, which is a contrast, which means as an INFP person if they have a core group, they might not feel like the need to reach out to more people unless it's through people in their core group. However, if they don't have a core group, an INFP might force themselves to be outgoing due to their feeling nature and need and desire for connection, which might be different for INTP potentially, because INTP might not feel the need to do that. They might just be fine chilling, even if they don't have a group, but potentially not. So that's the difference between INFP and INTP. So yeah, INFP goes into environments, doesn't actively pursue connections unless they feel like they are desiring connection, or like they don't have a lot of connections. Potentially they will reach out, but if they already have them, they probably won't reach out first. They go in with their plans and they react to this environment they're in. Next up is INTJ. Also, the 8 I chose for this video, if you know about the Myers-Briggs, you'll know that there's 4 different categories. These are all analysts and diplomats. Diplomats share intuitive feeling, and because of this combination, they're very peace-oriented people. Then analysts are very logical and inventors type of people, when they share N and T, intuitive and thinking. So yeah, next up is INTJ. INTJ, in my opinion, they go into a situation or their environment, they're introverted, they're intuitive, they're thinking and they're judging. So similar to INFP, the only difference is they're more thinking based and like trying to problem solve, I guess, reasoning, and they're more action. So this type of introverted personality type would go into a scenario similar to INFP, trying to keep themselves for the most part and have their own plans. However, they're thinking and judging. They might not even be seeking connections if they don't have even if they don't have a group of connections, like a support group. They typically might, and even if so, whereas INFP might, they might be even more hesitant if someone reaches out to them, potentially just because than INFP, because INFP doesn't really mind if you reach out. INTJ might be more hesitant about if you reach out to them because they like their inner peace. However, with the J, they might be more outgoing in an environment and discuss their plans with other people around them, even though they're not looking for as many connections quite as much. I mean, they might still look for connections, just not as much, because they're very logic-based and problem solvers. However, they still can make a lot of good connections with people. INTJ might be hesitant when people reach out. INFP might not be quite as much. However, downside of that is INFP might sometimes be, I guess, kind of naive, potentially. That's the downside of that. But INTJ might struggle with letting people, I guess, in, maybe. But they're good at, in a group dynamic, expressing their goal and being a little more outgoing, I guess, than INFP, potentially. The next one is ENTJ. So the more outgoing version of INTP. So an ENTP goes into environment with a plan, and they usually reach out more than INTJ, who kind of reach out a little bit more, but not as quite as much as ENTJ will go in, share their plans they have with other people around them, and maybe not build super close connections similar to INTJ, but build kind of like not a deep connection, but like a work kind of relationship, maybe potentially, but could still make deep connections, obviously. That's ENTJ, and then they'll have their plans, take action to achieve these plans, just like INTJ. The next one would be ENTP. These ones are perceptive and reactive rather than action oriented. So an ENTP would go into the same thing with their same plans and thinking. However, they'll actually keep more to themselves, almost kind of like introverted. However, they'll still reach out, talk about their plans, potentially, but not actually take action. Maybe we'll wait and see like if someone else helps them out with their plans, and try to like gather a group together, essentially, or talk to people, reach out and talk to them, tell them their plans that they're thinking about. However, still continue to do those plans by themselves, and just reach out to tell them, like, give them a heads up, or maybe again, like, have them help them with the plan, or have them start the plan and then they jump in, type of thing. INFJ, this one's a pretty good one. This is just the proactive version, I guess, of INFP. So the mediator, I think INFJ is the advocate in the Myers-Brigg, also a diplomat because it's NF. The advocate is proactive version of INFP. So basically they go into the scenario and they take action to achieve their plans, build strong connections, and try to resolve if there is any problems before they have problems to prevent it. Whereas INFP, if there's problems, they try to calm them. INFJ tries to prevent problems before they have it. If a problem does happen, INFP tries to resolve it often. So INFJ go into a situation, intuitive, keeps to themselves, feeling, wants to make connections. And with the J part, they might actually, whereas INFP might, they might actually reach out and make connections more than INFP. And usually, and that's because usually they're taking action to achieve their goal more openly, whereas INFP does their goal more in private, and that's why their INFJ is more likely to make those connections quicker, I guess. But INFP will still search them if they feel like they need one, or if someone reaches out to them, usually. ENFJ, the extroverted version. I feel like I keep saying the extroverted version, but basically just the extroverted version of INFJ. They go into an environment, they reach out to people, tell them their plan, try to connect on an emotional level with them, and they take action to achieve their goals and build kind of like people together for more of a maybe like idealistic cause, because F is feeling and caring, and it's a diplomatic personality type. So that's ENFJ. Rally people together, outgoing, intuitive with their plans, feeling with connections, and action-oriented to achieve certain goals that are usually more kind of like humanitarian, I guess, in a way, probably. And ENFP, the outgoing version of INFP. So they're very outgoing, connect emotionally, have their own plans, but instead of rallying people together like ENFJ over their plan, they might just tell their plan and kind of keep to themselves about their plan, kind of like INFP. INFP, when they have their goals, they keep to themselves. ENFP reaches out still, but still does the thing. They try to achieve the goal by themselves. Whereas the J, they might enlist people to help them. ENFP will just reach out just to reach out, and then keep to themselves about their plans and goals. So this was my take on the part 1 of the Myers-Briggs 16 personality types. If you're interested in it, there's a website that has a lot of information, and you can take a test on to see what 16 personality type you are. I know I didn't do the best at, this is more like a personal opinion rather than objective, but there's a lot of information on the website as well. And yeah, this is my personal take on the 16 personality types. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I was going to do this part 2, but I knew it was going to be so long. But yeah, as always, thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe if you want. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.